Hi guys, so I am very excited about today's video. It is going to be all about my recent apartment hunting in New York City. I actually did one of these at the very beginning of my channel like a year and a half ago when I moved into here, and everyone really liked that. So I think this will be even better and more fun because these apartments are all like really cute and I actually liked all of them. If you're new to my channel, I post content all about living in New York City, vlogs here, travel vlogs, stuff about working in corporate beauty, all of that. And my video before this one was actually an apartment tour of my current apartment, which is actually on Cornelia Street in the West Village, which is so cool. If you're a Swiftie, you know what that means. Unfortunately, I do have to move out of this building because they are renovating it, so everyone has to be out by the end of May. So I didn't even have a choice to say. I absolutely love this building, but I am actually very excited about the apartment I ended up finding. And I'm gonna make a playlist with this whole moving journey, like starting with this one, probably looking for an apartment, an empty apartment tour, vlogging my move, totally redesigning my new one because I want to do something totally different, but not to get too ahead of myself. Okay, let's go back. So starting with the apartment search. So the current market in New York City is absolutely crazy. Like all my friends rent, let's say they were paying $2,000, it was going up to like $3,500, $4,000. Like it was crazy. So everyone has been moving. There's been no apartments available. I don't really understand the math behind that, but for some reason it is just impossible to find something. So I was very nervous, but I want to explain my search and exactly what I was looking for. So my budget for my apartment is $2,500. That probably sounds crazy if you live in a lot of other cities or in the South or whatever, but in 2022 to live alone, it's going to cost you at least like $1,800 right now. Just want to put that out there in case you were thinking of moving to the city and you like to live alone. That's just something really good to know. So I made my budget $2,500. I decided to prioritize spending more on housing, which to some people is silly. It's like you're renting, you're throwing money away. But to me, I work from home most of the week. I'm here pretty much like 2/3 of my life. So I wanted to have a place that I like being in, and I wanted to have a neighborhood where I felt safe and like I can walk to things and not super isolated. So I took my $2,500 budget and I was looking on Street Easy. That is the website I was using, and I narrowed my search to all of downtown. By downtown, I mean that very loosely. I know in Sex and the City and stuff, they're like, don't go above 14th Street or whatever, but I think that's silly. So I had my search up to like 30th, basically Midtown too. I'm just trying to give context if you're not from New York, but most of the streets are numbered. So until you get to like further downtown, like Soho, the streets are numbered. So it'll go like, so 14th Street is like Union Square, and then it goes all the way up to, I don't even know, like 200th Street, something like that. So I was looking at 30th and below pretty much. East side, west side, all the way down to FiDi, which is the very bottom of the city. So I was definitely keeping an open mind. The reason I really wanted to stay downtown is because it's just closer to all of my friends, and I like being able to walk to them. Since I do live alone, I want to see my friends a lot. And then additionally, Uber's home at night if I do go out or something. I don't really feel comfortable subwaying home alone at like 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. or whatever. So the Ubers would start to add up if I was living in the Upper East Side or the Upper West Side. Those can be like $50 each night. So that was just my thinking. If you don't care about any of this, just skip ahead. I'll have a timestamp below that you can just like go to see the apartments. But I want to give more context. People are curious. So now I'm going to say my must-haves and my nice-to-haves. So my must-haves, I was not going to move into a building that did not have windows. I need windows. I'm currently looking out at my big window right now, and I just need natural light or it will greatly affect my mental health, is what I realized. My first apartment in New York, I didn't have any windows in my room. I had a tiny one that faced the back alleyway, so there was zero natural light in my room. It was fine because I was going to the office every single day, but on the weekends, it was definitely like, I never wanted to just like sit in my room, which sometimes like you just want to chill in your room, and it was just like a dark dungeon. So windows are like my #1 priority. And the second thing was location. I already talked about that. I didn't want to be like super far from everyone that I know, and I just wanted to stay in Midtown/downtown. And then my third must-have was a full-size fridge, because a lot of studios and one-bedrooms actually have a mini fridge. So that's something to definitely look out for when you're looking at the photos, because when I started looking, I wasn't really noticing that. I was just kind of assuming there would be a fridge, but some of them don't even have a fridge at all. And like if you have a hotel little mini fridge, you can barely fit anything in there if you're someone that wants to cook at home. So that's fine if you plan to take out for every meal, but that's not what I want to do, nor like should I do. So that was definitely a priority for me. And then the nice to haves, first thing was laundry and building. I currently have laundry in my basement here, but honestly, like if I didn't find that, it is annoying to take your laundry out and do it somewhere, but so many buildings in New York don't have laundry, so it's really not a big deal. And then I did want room for a queen bed. I did want to get a bigger bed, but again, not mandatory at all. But if an apartment had that, I was like, okay, that could be nice. And then the third thing is, this is at the bottom of the nice to have, but if pets are allowed, that was also a bonus because I do maybe want to get a dog in the next year. So if a place said no pets allowed, that was just like a yellow flag for me, but anyways. And then things that didn't even matter to me, like throw it out the door. I would be shocked if I had it. Would be in-unit laundry, not gonna happen. Dishwasher, not gonna happen. Elevator, one of my buildings so far has had an elevator, one didn't. I honestly don't really care that much as long as I'm not on the top floor of a ginormous walk-up. And that's pretty much it. So without further ado, let's get into the 3 apartments I toured. I'm gonna try not to be biased as I go through them all so that you guys can guess which one I got and say your favorite. Okay, so the first one I saw was super cute. This one was within my budget. I would say it was about 200 square feet. And what it lacked in space, it made up for in charm. So the pros of this one were A, the location. It was on a really cute tree-lined street with a bunch of local cafes and restaurants. It was very, speaking of Sex and the City, like very Sex and the City-esque. I've honestly only seen a few episodes of that show, but you know what I mean. Like, I feel like people could live out their Carrie Bradshaw fantasy there, like have this cute little studio and decorate it and just kind of like put the shoes in the oven and make it work. And I also loved the fireplace and the exposed brick. So it was just a really charming studio. The con though was size. So since it was smaller, the bed would have to go in front of the closet. So you would have to stand on the bed to kind of get your clothes out, which you can definitely make it work. But I was just picturing getting ready in the morning and trying on things for work or whatever, and just kind of like, I can imagine it getting very messy and clothes everywhere. And then the second thing was there was not room for a couch. There was room for a desk. They said there was room for a chase, like a girl kind of had like a lounge, one person style thing that they could watch TV on and stuff, but there's not room for like a full proper couch. And this apartment was at the top of my budget, just something to keep in mind. So that was apartment number 1. Okay, so the second apartment I looked at was also in a good location, not as perfect as the first one and idyllic, but it was a lot bigger. I don't know the exact sizing because it's not on the listings because, you know, no broker's like bragging about like 200 square feet or whatever it is. But I think this one was about 300 square feet. It was above my budget. So I went into this one knowing if this is the one I applied to, I'm going to have to figure this out and kind of compromise and make my budget even higher. This one had great natural light. So did the first one actually. I should have said that too. And what I also liked about this one is it had distinct rooms. So there was a bedroom area, a living room area, a kitchen area, which I also have here now. You can see it literally all from right here. My bed, my living room, my kitchen. And I just think that's so awesome to have in a studio, just like mentally to kind of be able to separate things a little bit. So I loved this one. The only con with this one for me was the price. So this was a big contender and I won't say if I applied to it yet or not. And then the third one, so this third one had a good location, but the street wasn't as cute and, you know, movie scene like, but it wasn't like a major con or anything. Apartment number 3 was also within my budget and it was the biggest of the 3 options. It was about 350 square feet, and the major pro of this one was the distinct rooms and the size of them. So the bedroom could fit a queen size bed, it could fit a proper desk in there, and then there was a whole separate living room that could also fit a couch and then also a little kitchen, which was really nice. So I definitely liked this one. The only con with this one for me was the lack of natural light. So the bedroom was super bright, but the living room did not have any windows at all. So the living room was like a very dark cave-like dungeon. So I just had to think about if I could see myself living there in this neighborhood and in this apartment versus apartments 1 and 2. And by the way, I viewed these all within like a few days. So I had some time to kind of decide which one I wanted of the 3. And I say that as if I was automatically going to get the one I applied for, but that's just how I was thinking. So if you want to comment below quickly before I say which one I chose, and I guess either say your favorite or say which one you think I picked. I feel like I tried to do a good job of not giving it away because I wanted people to be able to guess. Okay, so without further ado, the apartment that I ended up choosing and applying to and getting it was the first apartment I applied for, and I happened to get it, was apartment number 3. So I am really excited actually. I honestly feel like it's too good to be true, but I got this apartment, I signed it, it's done. So when I was there touring apartment number 3, you can see there's other people in the unit. There was a ton of people there. The broker told me that 5 people applied within a few hours of the listing going live, and then he also told me that he received 75 emails asking to see the unit the day it went live. So by live, I mean when it was listed on StreetEasy. He literally texted me the next day and was like, I have 75 people trying to see this. And I was like, oh my gosh. So part of it was luck because I was, I think, one of the first 5 people to even message him and ask to see it. And I said I could be there at any time. He was showing it on a Saturday. So I was like, anytime you need me. I got there in the morning. And then part of it was also my application. But I think I'm gonna do a whole separate video. If anyone's interested, let me know, because I can do a whole separate video kind of like breaking down how to have a strong apartment application in New York City, especially when you're living alone. It's like not even like you kind of have roommates to cushion you. It's like they're judging just you, your financial situation, your responsibility, your consistency, do you pay things on time, all of that. So I can definitely make a video on that. But that is it for my apartment hunting video. Hopefully I will not have to make another one of these for the next 2 years. I hope I can stay here for a while, but I'm really excited to decorate. Right now I kind of have like a neutral-ish thing going, and I'm gonna sell a lot of this stuff and kind of like upgrade to things that I think match my personal style a little bit more. So definitely subscribe to see the upcoming empty apartment tour and moving vlogs and redecorating that one, because I am actually so excited for this all. Like, even though I wanted to stay here, I think it'll be a really good new fresh, I think it'll be a really good fresh start and kind of just like next chapter for life in the city, kind of like into my mid to late 20s, you know? So that is it. If you made this far, please give this video a thumbs up, and I will post my empty apartment tour next week. Bye.